We have all been in situations where sometimes it's just easier to keep the feeling to ourselves or keep the issue to ourselves. But to live something, to feel its force, to wear its wounds, to escape it, but then face it again to empower other women, that is the work of a superhero. And our guest today is a very, very powerful woman. Fatima, I am so honored to have you on the podcast today. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm blessed. I'm so grateful to connect with you here and looking forward to this conversation with you.
Yeah. Okay, so before I ask what your hope hit is, I'm just going to quickly explain what it is to our listeners. So, a hope hit is basically a song that brings light back into the room of your heart. It's a song that you listen to feel empowered, to remember your faith in people and yourself. It's a song that ultimately inspires you or reminds you to keep putting one foot in front of the other or to even just celebrate where you are right now. So, Fatima, tell me, what is your hope hit?
For me, my hope hit song, it's called Sarzamini Man. It means my homeland. It's by
Mm,
Daoud Sarhosh, who is oh my God, iconic, amazing singer, especially of the Hazara people from Afghanistan.
mm,
And this song not only help you to find courage and every single day to carry on being so far away from home,
mm,
but it gives you that hope to hopefully there is a better coming. There's a light coming to Afghanistan, and it speaks the pain, the kind of devastation of living, having to leave home, and speaks
mm,
the pains of thousands and millions of people who live abroad and find a refuge somewhere around the world. So Tawsir Hosh himself had to leave Afghanistan, and then this song, it brings tears to my eyes, but at the same time,
yeah,
it kind of gives me that courage to show up every single day, no matter what you're feeling, no matter how tough things get. That we are the generation, we are the hope for the country, that somebody has come and taken over, but we are going to rebuild, we are going to have the country back. And
yeah,
for me, when I'm in the ultra or day-to-day life, I mean, just recently when I was at the UTMB and I had, let's say, the last before the final checkpoint, I'm having this song repeatedly in my ear and listening
mm,
to it, and it just the hope that it gives you, the courage that, you know, we are the people of mountains, and
mm,
and this will kind of support you to carry on living, but also having that spirit of home in the heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so powerful. That's so beautiful as well. I think to have a song that still speaks of the pain, but actually can also inspire so much hope is such an important dance as well. Otherwise, it can just go one way or go so far that way that it's almost doesn't have relevance, I guess, to what's happening. I know sometimes with songs, you can hear them so many times, but then there's this one moment where, okay, actually the song is clicking in. For you, do you remember the first time that you really connected to the song?
I think I mean, those are Horsch songs. All of his songs speaks a language, speaks,
Mm,
expresses emotions. And to so many people like myself, being so far from home, we live through his music. But this particularly song, ideally, when we left Afghanistan, I've repeatedly listened to this for so many times. It's maybe
mm,
after 2021, when unfortunately that kind of like a devastating situation where Afghanistan fell in the hands of Taliban. And I've kind of listened to it more and more. And I've kind of found this song to help me remind me that, you know what, we hopefully, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person who is having to, leave the home, leave the country. There's
mm,
millions of people out there, and also is a reminder that, Afghanistan forever will stay in my heart,
yeah.
alive. So like there's one part of the song is like Mahus Taraiman, Rahi Dubaraiman, it's like you're my way back, Uh,
Mm,
and it tells like that um people have broken, or there's been war has been in going on in Afghanistan for years, and like the parts of it, like people have come and taken, but still you are my, no matter where I am, you are my way back.
yeah.
And also it says like you're my cure to everything. So yeah, so
Mm,
I feel like through his music I'm like loving or living life and remind memories of Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. That's so powerful as well. I think when you said it can be such a reminder that other people and people around the world experience this displacement, like leaving lands they don't want to leave,
Mhm.
and then still craving its like redemption and craving the salvation of it. And I think like what you said, it would just I think it so perfectly encapsulates the power of a song and the power of art, I guess, this idea that it can be a mirror. And I think sometimes when you hear something that links the whole world together from a shared experience, you feel less alone in what you're going through. And sometimes that can alleviate the pain. I think sometimes we feel so like things can feel so heavy because we wear all of it,
Yeah.
but actually realizing so many people go through the same thing, you almost share the load emotionally somehow. I don't know how it happens, but I definitely think it's like I really resonate when you say that. So you speak about Afghanistan and you speak about the so many changes it's gone through. I think growing up since school, I've been hearing Afghanistan on the news in the UK literally since I was
Mhm.
in school, and it just seems like a land where there's been so many changes.
Yeah.
But I have a friend, Fawaz, and he recently went with his wife. And they were in the mountains and they
Mhm.
stayed out there in the snow and they did these campfires out there and it just looked stunning. It just looked like the most beautiful place, and
Yeah.
it completely disagreed with what I would have perceived Afghanistan to be just from the news. I'd love to talk a bit about your early years in Afghanistan
Mhm.
as a child.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up there?
Oh my God. I don't know. It's like the Pyrenees.
Mhm.
I mean, I was blessed to be raised up in the mountain, and
Wow.
our school was about 1 hour away. And you know, for us, it was normal to go to school, come back, and we're off in the mountains.
Wow.
And I honestly, like, I look back and I'm like, I'm so like in life, I'm so blessed to have experienced that. Like,
Mm.
you know, going to school was 1 hour, but we sometimes walk, sometimes hitchhike lorries, and
Yeah,
sometimes. But as soon as we back from school, I'm just gone in the mountains, like
that's so
hours.
incredible.
And I feel like the freedom I had, like, I felt so fearless. My parents didn't know where I was. We were just with my friends all in the mountains, like, come back
Wow.
maybe 8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Winters was the most beautiful parts as well because there's no
Wow.
school. There's no way you
Yeah.
can get to school. It's too much snow in the mountains. So we had 3 months of winter off, and yeah,
Wow.
that
And
was
then
the
do
best
you still
part.
get a summer holiday as well on top of
Um,
that?
the winter was our summer holiday because, like,
Okay.
there's no way that because I where I live, it was 1 hour walk, and there's no way we can
Okay.
get, like, snow, a lot of snow, so we would just spend some time in the community, and the rest of the time we go up and hike up and then sit in a plastic bag and all down the mountain. So that kind of
Wow.
like risk assessment. And then when I now look at risk assessment, I'm like, oh my God, so where was the risk assessment then? Yeah, so bringing upbringing was beautiful because we had the mountains, and I mean, for me, I feel like that was the best privilege I had as a child to, and now
Wow.
reliving it through trail and mountain running, I'm like, yes, this is the
Yeah.
blessing.
Oh, I love that. I love the circle that you've brought it in
Yeah.
as well to still enjoy the thing that you once enjoyed, but in such a different way. And we're gonna talk about that in a second as
Yeah.
well, because I used to be an athlete, so I think when I was reading about you, I thought, "Wow, this I can't wait to speak to her." Um, so like I said, like living in the West, we've always heard about Afghanistan and we've heard about
Yeah.
the Taliban, and I guess the things that you hear at such a young age, such an impressionable age,
Yeah.
sometimes they inform your bias that you carry on into your later life. When I saw my friend's trip with his wife, it really, really blew my mind.
Mm.
So I realized actually the things we're told sometimes when we're young, they do plant seeds. Whatever I think, whatever I've been taught, I know there's so much room for inaccuracy. So I would actually like to ask you, um, what was it like growing up in this paradise and growing up in such a like beautiful, it sounds like a fairy tale basically, living in the mountains,
Mhm.
to then experience that shift and coming face to face with the Taliban at such a young age as well.
Mm.
How was that journey for you?
I mean, nobody likes to leave something you love, something you cherish so well.
Mm,
And where I lived, the community was very small, but we've kind of they were my family, like, and suddenly
mm,
you decide that we are going.
mm,
And then I had a moment of feeling nostalgic, like, about my homeland and everything, the home we build with our own hands, and we're like, okay, now you're going to starting a new life in England. People kind of have this idea of bombs and fight and war. I want to change that idea of that. When you mention the name of Afghanistan, people think it's all about the war, but deep
Mm,
down, they don't know that how of an amazing place this people is, the place is, and the beautiful people they have. The fact that this is when you say Afghanistan, this is what Afghanistan people think this is Afghanistan. And
yeah.
and there have been so many other moments where like you go into, for example, events and you have a conversation with somebody. They're like some people have great knowledge, but not everybody knows Afghanistan. And then the only
Mm,
thing they know is through the news and social media and the fact that
mm.
it's all about the war. And they act like, oh my God, is she gonna pull her gun next? Like, like that kind of
Yeah.
situations. And actually, these kind of moments has helped me to be, like the kind of support that no, Afghanistan is not what people show, what the media show, and Afghanistan
Yeah.
is beyond and far more beautiful. What Taliban is doing is not what Afghanistan is. Afghanistan is the land of mountains, the with
Mm,
people and great hospitality. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And I guess, like, a place and what happens to a place are very different things.
yeah,
The Taliban is what happened to Afghanistan, but Afghanistan was its own place and is its own place, free
yeah,
of that, that's really interesting. How was that journey? So leaving Afghanistan, coming to the UK, how
yeah.
was that period of your life?
It was it had its own challenges.
Right.
I think change is always kind of an exciting. It enlightens your curiosity to see, ooh, new culture, new country, new people. And
Mm.
for me, I think as we arrived, and I was asking my dad, "Where are the mountains?" The first thing is like, "Where are the mountains?"
Yeah.
you know, because we're living at a really high peak, and you come to literally like 50-meter hill. It's like flat.
Yeah.
Um, but just going through the school journey and having to school for us was finishing 11:30, and like now I'm in school until like 3:20. Like, what's going on?
Wow.
Understanding those kind of it's like we had so much freedom in terms of like nature is your kind of school bits. And then so it took a little bit of time to adjust, but I think
Mm,
for me sport has been always like the greatest strength. When I started school, I didn't speak language, but I think that's what I found so fascinating about sports, that it does not require language. You can
yeah.
be in a team and you still play, and you don't have to, and
Mm,
you express this like through sports. And I got myself involved in all the actual school clubs and anything. Like I even run like a marathon
wow.
the back of my
Uh,
schoolyard just to like do a bit of fundraising for like charity. And I was like, this is such a cool thing, like why not,
mm,
I'll run. Because
yeah.
I was in house competitions and things like that. But there are moments like I think having to learn English, and but also I feel like for me sport always had a huge has been a huge part of my life. And then I discovered running, and
Mm.
for that I think the transition has been kind of easier. But you go through some challenges, and that's part of life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And to speak about running, so you encourage girls to run. You bring girls together to run, to step into their power, to connect with their bodies, to be fast, to be strong, to be unapologetic. Why is that so important to you?
I used to walk to school, and I remember that we would run after lorries, hitchhike, but we're still sometimes late because it starts early, and then you try your very best to be there on time. Running began then, and I didn't realize it was a big thing. And
Well,
even to discover trail running is like a huge, huge thing, and we just use that as kind of like get around. And so when I was at school, we did the cross country, and I did this marathon back at the school, and I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I loved sports day, and sports day, they're like, oh, it's a track, you should come along. And so I eventually joined middle distance training. Coach Paul Larkins, to this day, I'm so grateful because he's been a big part of my life. And then, yeah, that's how running started. So, and
that's so interesting.
yeah.
That's incredible. It must have been my guess would be it would have been easier coming to run on a flat ground track after coming from, like, running through mountains and I guess, like, complete different terrain, but I think I don't know, if the running through terrain sounds a bit more fun. Like I said, I used to be an athlete myself, and I think growing up, so I was running track Tuesdays, Thursdays, and competing on Sundays for about
Yeah.
8 years or 9 years or something like that. So it meant that every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, I was with these girls that I was growing up with. And of course, we were young. We were going through puberty together. We were going through parent stuff together, family stuff together, boy stuff
Mhm.
together. And but then we were also sweating together, and we were panting together, and we were celebrating together, losing together, winning together. And I think it really helped my understanding of sisterhood. It
Mm.
really helped my understanding of the role that I play in a wider community. And I think it gave me my first sense of community. I didn't realize at the time, but I definitely realize it now that I'm not running. You are working on an incredible project at the moment, and it's called Free to Run. And I would love for you to tell me a bit more about it and how we can support as well.
Before 2021, I always wanted to go back and be able to share the love of sports to the women and girls back home. But
Mm,
unfortunately, after 2021, when the day become a dark day for Afghanistan and it fell in the
mm,
hands of Taliban. Initially, I thought I'm just daydreaming, and I was following the live online, but unfortunately, that was not a dream. It was a true reality where Afghanistan fell in the hands of Taliban, and I hope
mm,
that that hope of some giving something back to the people, my people. I felt that kind of like maybe disappeared, and I was like, what to do? So I was looking for like organizations that I can join to kind of carry on and accomplish this thing that I've been wanting to do forever. And I watched the documentary of Stephanie Case. To those of you who don't know
mm,
Stephanie Case, she's a powerful woman. She's a beautiful queen of ultra. I mean, anybody who wants to have a bit of inspiration, or you're looking to start something, or you just want to check her out, you must check Stephanie Case.
mm.
Stephanie Case is the founder of Free to Run, and I'm blessed to be part of this journey as an ambassador for Free to Run. So in 2024, I started my project, which is running 26 different cities, A to Z alphabetically around the world, is to
Wow.
raise awareness about the injustice that's happening in Afghanistan.
Mm,
Today, where women have no life, they're denied. It's like a systematic gender apartheid, this
mm,
injustice that women and girls are experiencing today. No
yeah.
education, no participation in sports, no freedom of movement. They're not
Mm,
allowed to be in public. And with Free to Run, we're able to give something back. So and also, if I can do this and to raise awareness, and the fact that to change one life, to give hope to the girls and women, like I'm my purpose is fulfilled. So Free to Run is not only helped or helping in Afghanistan, but is helping in Palestine, Gaza,
mm.
in Iraq, and in conflict areas, and trying to empower people, especially women, to come to sports. The project's called Running Undercover for Women and Girls of Afghanistan.
Amazing, amazing. Running undercover for women in Gaza and Afghanistan, free to run. So today, obviously, the focus is music. So I would
Yeah.
love to ask, still thinking about connection, what's the connective role, if there is one, that music plays in your life, whether it's dance, singing with people, just connecting you to home, like you mentioned in this song?
Mhm.
Like, is there a connective role that it plays?
Absolutely. I mean, music itself is a universal language, and for all of
Mm,
us, like we express emotions through it. And in the hearts of Afghan people, especially back home, and also people who live abroad, we live through music. We live in the memory of back home through music, but also like our weddings and our celebrations are expressed
mm,
through incredible musics, and and we express pain, and and express happiness all through music. And I think it's a beautiful way to connect, to laugh,
mm,
to be vulnerable with one another. And like
mm.
one day you come to one of our
Yeah.
celebrations or our weddings, we love it. And I think it being so far from home, like I love it here, but also like Afghanistan is where kind of where I was born, and is where will forever be the special place in my heart. And I feel like
Mm,
through the music of Dawsar Hosh or Ilaha Surur or some of other our singers, like we kind of like live on this memory that it's sad that I say I can't probably wouldn't be able to revisit, but I dream that one day I go back. And
mm.
music is what kind of you share moments and celebrate and live.
Yeah.
a good life.
There's a joy in it. My friend, she's Afghan and she got married, and what was really interesting is a lot of the family came from, like, all around the world, lots of different
Mm,
places, and maybe not everyone spoke the same language, but when it came to the ceremonial dances, everyone was speaking the same
yeah,
language, and
yeah,
it was so beautiful because I think where my background, so in Gambia, we have ceremonial dances, but they're not steps. So it's not
okay.
like steps we do together. So I think whenever I watch like anything in the Arab world, anything like Middle Eastern, I feel like it's very step based. And
Mm.
just seeing that move, it's like geometry. It's like watching geometry move, and it's so connective. It's so beautiful to watch.
Absolutely. I love that. And I feel like even just general day to day, I feel like music, it's so powerful that some great songs that lift your mood. And you know what? You kind of believe that you're unstoppable. Like, I don't know, it's
Mm.
not necessarily, I feel like that comes from within, but music is a great advantage to that. Like, you plug something and you rest now, you can conquer the world no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite spiritual. Yeah, it's quite
But all,
spiritual. I
yeah.
think about worship and I think about how every culture and every religion has their own form of worship, and
Yeah.
worship transforms someone's mood, transforms someone's spirit.
Mm,
And it's music, just because something's not necessarily called like a spiritual
yeah.
genre. I've been out and watched like dance music completely bring someone out of their shell.
Mm.
I've watched it make people be really happy all of a sudden. So it is really such a powerful thing. Do you have any fond musical memories growing up in Afghanistan?
Mountains.
Yeah.
We I don't remember much like listening to music, but like I
Mm.
was young when I left. I think it came kind of later in life. We probably I would say discovered really listen to music when we moved to Pakistan. But before that,
Mm.
I think to me nature is music in another kind of universe. And
Yeah.
spending time in the mountains, looking at the trees dance and things like that. I feel like that's what my childhood was. Most of well, pretty much every day we were up, out and about. But there was with radios and things like that would listen to, yeah. But when we moved to Pakistan and then discovered the world, yeah, and I feel like it kind of gives you the courage to carry on. And so
Mm.
many levels, like you said, I think the spiritual part, like meditation, like that kind of music,
Mm.
classical and all that, I feel it calms you. And then also you need some lights and like some beast vibes,
Yeah, yeah.
which which comes with music. And I feel like, yeah, mm,
Beast Mode is the name of my gym playlist.
really, I love that because it gives the life that joy, like
Yeah.
we're ready to
Something to pick
ready
you
to
up
go. Yeah.
and really get into it.
Mm. Running itself, it's a way of feeling freedom. And I think for me, speaking of myself, I feel like being in the mountain is where I feel so free, and I feel
Mm.
I'm like a small seashell amongst these majestic peaks, and it
Yeah,
gives me, it keeps me alive, but it gives me that power to, what, you're unbreakable, and women can do hard things, and I think we need to encourage that. Not saying men can't do, but I feel like the support is there. But I feel like we need to encourage more women to come into the sport, but not only
yeah,
running, but any sports, if or even if their mountain is to make a start and improving their life, we need to kind of like
yeah.
empower them that they can do it.
Yeah. Fatima, thank you so much for sharing your stories, for sharing your hope hit, for teaching me what it means to actually love a place, leave a place, and miss a place as well. I think that's so powerful. And I think it's also so beautiful that you use something that you discovered at home and you bring that same joy and that same power into
Mm-mm.
people's lives today. I just think that's so commendable. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a, I feel like we need to carry this conversation. Like, I want to really meet you in person. It's been so
Yeah.
beautiful to see that you did running, and I hope you come back to track. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna find your, like, running pages as well, definitely. Definitely. Listeners, you can actually nominate your own Hope hits, and all of the songs of Hope will be added to our Hope on Repeat playlist. Alongside voting, you can also find more stories and music and work that we are doing to support displaced people around the world. You can find that at unrefugees.org.uk. But thank you so much, Fatima. Thank you all so much for listening. My name is Sophia Thakur. I'm a poet, and we will catch up soon. Until then, keep hope on repeat.